Okay, today we're going to be talking about Lesson 24. Make sure you write Lesson 24 in black ink at the very top and today's date. And we have our 2 vocabulary words in red ink. An example with today's problem would be if I had the number 54 divided by 10. 54 would be my dividend. And 10 would be my divisor. Okay. Our target for today, if you go ahead and draw a line at the bottom of your organizer, is that I can divide decimals by multiples of 10. At the very end of this lesson, I want you to be able to give yourself a score of a 4, 3, 2, or 1. 4 meaning you can explain this to someone else, how to work on this problem, draw it out, and correctly answer the question. 3 means you can do the math 100%, but can't quite explain it yet. 2 means that there are a few errors in your math. And 1 means that you're still trying to understand this concept and you haven't gotten there yet, but maybe tomorrow. Okay? And then you'll check in at the very end of class to write down a 4, 3, 2, 1 about your target. I can divide decimals by multiples of 10. Let's start with our first problem. Okay? Our first problem, let's go ahead and write that in pencil. And that is 54 divided by 10. We're going to use some strategies with this that I taught you in class, and one of the things I want you to look at is that we move the decimal left when we divide, and we move the decimal to the right when we multiply, based on how many zeros there are. We have 1 0 there, so we're dividing by 10. So 54, if you write that, we're going to move the decimal from the very end of that number to the left 1 spot. To the left. That gives us a solution or a quotient of 5 and 4/10. Okay, that's our quotient. Our next problem is 5 and 4/10 divided by 10. We know that our decimal is in between the 5 and the 4. 10 has 1 0, so we're going to move it to the left 1 spot, giving us a solution of 54 hundredths. Okay. Our next problem would be 54 hundredths divided by 10. And you can already see the pattern of what's happening with our numbers and where that decimal is moving. And so if we're going to take a multiple of 10 divided by 10, our 54 hundredths, the decimal is going to move to the left 1 spot, and we end up with 54 thousandths as our solution, our quotient. Okay, and I'm going to add off to the side that these are in red ink, our quotient, our solution to our division problems. Okay, let's go on now to our next set of problems in pencil. And our next set is, well, if the 10 changes to a multiple of 10, then what if it's a number such as 90? 54 divided by 90. Can 90 fit into 54? Easily? Well, with decimals and what we know, we can. Watch what we do. 90, that's a multiple of 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. That's 9 sets of 10s, okay? So 54, let's break apart our 90. I know 9 times 10 is 90. So divided by 10 and divided by 9, okay? So you're going to split the 90 apart. Next step, go ahead and solve the first step based on what we did at the very top. And that is 54 divided by 10. We know there's 1 0, and so we're going to move it over 1 spot. 5 and 4/10. is our quotient for 54 divided by 10. And now that number divided by 9 is our next step. Well, one of the strategies I taught you in class is take our decimal away, and we end up with 54 divided by 9. And our next strategy is, well, 9 times table. Let's go ahead and find our 9 times table, and let's find 54. Sometimes it works perfectly for us. There's 54, and our other factor is 6. So 6 times 9. So we know 54 divided by 9, according to our table, is 6. Going back up here, we know that we took our decimal away. And we took our decimal away one spot, right? So here's that one spot it moves over. So let's move it back one spot over. Our solution is 6/10. 54 divided by 90 is 6/10. Run out of room, so I'm going to go back over here to our next page in our journal, and we're going to talk about similar numbers, but our decimal is going to change a little bit. Okay, and our decimal is going to go between our 5 and our 4. 5 and 4/10 divided by 90. Okay, if we're going to do 5 and 4/10 divided by 90, again, we're going to split 90 apart into two parts, divided by 10 and divided by 9. And we know 5 and 4/10 divided by 10 is 54 hundredths, because our decimal moves to the left one spot, and we get our new number. Okay, 54 hundredths divided by 9, because we just solved this one and got this answer. Now divided by 9, let's think about this. Remember I said take the decimal away and we'll come back and put it in two spots to the left, okay? 54 divided by 9 again, we remember that it's 6. And we have 1, 2 spots. 1, 2 spots, our decimal, put it in there. Our solution is 6 hundredths. Okay, nice job. Now I want you to go ahead and take your journal and space these numbers out. I want you to do 54 hundredths divided by 90 on your own. I want you to go ahead and do 54 divided by 900. Keep in mind there are 2 zeros here. And I want you to go ahead and do 5 and 4/10 divided by 900 as well. This one, don't forget that you want to take apart your 900. Okay, so you might say divided by 100 and divided by 10. Over here we know how to start this. Divided by 10 and divided by 9, all your steps. And you know how to start this one as well. Go ahead and finish this up. Before you leave class today, I want you to make sure, go to the very beginning, look at your target. I can divide decimals by multiples of 10. And I want you to write your statement. Where are you at? Are you at a 1, 2, 3, 4? I can. What can you do now with division of decimals? Go ahead and answer that question before you leave and check in with your learning targets for today. Thank you. This is Mrs. Mosley. Good work.